This video is sponsored by Marshall. What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we've got another favorite tech of the month video, this time for the month of April. Now, for my new folks out there, this is pretty much where I talk about some of my favorite tech that I've been using recently, whether it's old or new, but this is what I've been liking in the month of April. Now, I skipped last month because honestly, there wasn't anything that I was enjoying that was new that I haven't already told you guys about, so we skipped it. And this time we got some cool stuff. I don't usually make a big deal about phone cases and even include them in my favorite tech of the month, but these guys from Pitica actually sent this over to my PO box. Yes, I know I didn't save it for the massive tech unboxing, but when I opened it up, checked it out, I was actually really surprised by how much I liked it. Now, I know on first glance it looks like your typical carbon fiber looking case, but it actually has some pretty interesting qualities. Now, the first thing I really like about this guy is the overall feel in the hand. With this, it doesn't feel like my phone's wearing a big bulky case. This is actually really slim. And what's great about it, even though it's got a really slim design, it's made out of bulletproof materials. Not to say that it's bulletproof, but those bulletproof materials definitely help in terms of durability. So it's very low profile, fits nicely in the hand, and I can just throw it into my pocket with no issue. Not a big bulky case, and I like that. Now, something else I really like about this is that even though it's got this really slim design, it's got magnetic plates embedded into it. So if you have those charging mounts in your car where it's magnetic and you just want to put it on there, you don't have to have an extra metal plate in the back. The case has it built in, which is really nice, and it doesn't add any bulk. Now, something I'm not too crazy about with this case is the actual top. So if you can see over here, it's actually exposed at the top. I'm not crazy about that because if this thing happens to fall face first, there's no real protection there, and I'm also afraid of scratches. With the iPhone 10, you've got the stainless steel edges, which can get scratched up, so if you're rocking a silver one, you definitely want to be careful. So I'm not really crazy about that. Pitica, if you're listening, make one that covers the entire top. I would love that. The packaging also came with a tempered glass screen protector, so that is a nice bonus if you need one. So huge shout out to Pitica or Pitica for sending this out. I like this a lot more than I thought I would, and I'll have it linked down below in the description, as well as everything else mentioned in this video. Now, moving on to something that's kind of changed the game for me. This is the Elgato Stream Deck. Now, this thing is basically a tool with a bunch of programmable buttons. Each button has a display so that you can see what you have programmed to it. And I really like this. Now, it is not for everyone, but if you're a streamer or someone who makes content, this thing could be a really great tool. So to give you a bit about how this thing works, each button, like I said, is programmable, so you can have it set to launch applications or do keystrokes or even open folders on your computer. You pretty much have a ton of control on this guy, so you can have access to things with the press of a single button. So if I wanted to launch an application, something like Lightroom, I can just press that button and you see immediately on the computer, it pops up. And I was editing a picture of the Stream Deck on Instagram, and there you go, that's it. But just like that, with that press of the button, there goes my program. Now, for a program that's already open, if I hit Final Cut Pro, it takes me right to it. And something that's cool about the Stream Deck is that you can have it do a ton of different functions whenever you press a certain button. So whenever I launch the Final Cut application, I actually switch to a second profile. And with this, I have a ton of different keys set up. But if you want to have a tool that speeds up your workflow, this thing is a really good buy. And it even comes with this cool little stand so that you can position it however you want. You can get the right angle for you, whatever works for you, whatever your style is. I really like that thing. Now, you guys know I don't always talk about hardware when it comes to favorite tech of the month. Sometimes I talk about apps and games. Right now, I got a cool piece of software that I think pretty much anybody will enjoy. So if you guys are familiar with Stream, there's a pretty cool app called Wallpaper Engine that allows you to change your background to moving background. So it has animated backgrounds. So if you like live wallpapers or anything like that, this thing gives you that option, and there is a huge library of things to use. So right now you guys can see the wallpaper that I'm using, but I can easily change that up to something like this. And I can still just use the computer normally. This thing just runs in the background. I can just jump into another program and it not be a big deal. Now, what's great is that if you're using something like you're playing a game or something that's really resource intensive. The thing actually shuts down in the background, so it's not eating up your memory or bogging down your machine. So I kind of like that. And check this out. There's even wallpapers that kind of follow your mouse so you can interact with them. And I kind of like that. Now, something you might notice is that I've got 2 keyboards over here and a few mice, but I like to test out products at once. I usually have my favorites sticking around while I'm testing out others. But this right here is the Corsair K63 wireless mechanical keyboard. And that's what makes it special. Usually you don't find mechanical keyboards that are wireless, but this one is by Corsair and it's actually really nice. It's got Cherry MX red switches, so you get that fast typing. You don't get those clicks that you get with the Cherry Browns. That has more of a clicky feel to it, but the reds are pretty quick. Now, I like this because, one, the color's dope, but not only that, but it feels nice. It gives you access to all the controls that you would need. It's a mechanical keyboard and it's wireless, so it's a good look. But one thing that's really awesome about this is that it has an accessory that allows you to take this thing away from your computer desk. So right here, we've got the K63 wireless, and this is the Corsair lapboard. And with this, you can basically take the K63 wireless and dock it in. And then of course, you're gonna wanna lock it in place so that this keyboard doesn't slip out. And then you can pretty much take this thing away from your desk. And it is a lapboard, so it's got this nice cushion in the back, so when you're putting it on your lap, it feels nice and comfortable. And what's really nice about this is that it's got an included mouse pad built in on the side. So if you want to do some gaming away from your computer, you've got that option. Now over here, I've got the Corsair Dark Core. Now Corsair is obviously not the sponsor of today's video, but I got this thing when I trumped Ari in our shopping challenge. So I definitely got to get my use out of this. But right here, you guys pretty much can see the setup. Now what makes this thing awesome for me is look at my computer. I've got a 3-monitor setup, so I can take this guy and basically have the full experience of being able to play on all 3 monitors away from the desk, and then I'll be able to kind of take in everything that's happening on all 3 screens. And if you got a chair with arms, it's even better because then you can just throw it over here, kind of enjoy yourself, get to playing. So if you got a triple monitor setup that you want to take complete advantage of, like I do, this is actually really, really nice. All right, guys, so right here, we've got Marshall's mid-ANC headphones, active noise canceling for those of you who don't know. But it's inside of this nice travel case, which I've never seen one like this before, so kudos to Marshall for making this pretty unique. And when you open it up inside, it's got like this velvet material, which is very nice and smooth in the hand. So it feels very premium, but let's talk about the headphones. So here we have them. These are Marshall's mid-ANC, which is active noise canceling. Now this features an on-ear design. So when you throw it on, it looks just like this. And I gotta say, it's pretty compact. You guys saw me pull it out of the case. This thing can get pretty small, so I'm a fan of that. It makes it really easy to take this around since it's so portable. Now what's great and probably a must these days is that these are Bluetooth headphones, which means you're gonna be able to connect it to any device that you want, regardless of whether or not it has a headphone jack. But if it does, Marshall also includes a 3.5mm cable, which actually looks really, really nice. Now, something that I like that Marshall did is they kept the buttons and controls to a minimum. So right here, we've got the main control and power button. So you can just kind of hold it down to power this thing on, but it also works as a joystick. So if you push it up, you get your volume up, push it down, volume down. And then if you hit it left and right, you're able to skip between tracks. And right here, you got the active noise canceling switch that you can turn on or off. But that active noise canceling is definitely solid if you want to just focus on your music. The headband is made out of this soft microfiber material, so it feels very comfortable. And you've got this PU leather on the ear cups as well. So comfort, definitely not an issue. Feels really good. So I think they made some pretty nice material choices, but the important thing is, how do they sound? I gotta say, these sound pretty good. They got a nice punchy bass to them, which I really love. You guys know me, I love me some bass. And even though you got that nice punchy bass, you're not missing out on any clarity here. But this isn't a full review. If you guys wanna check out the mid-ANCs by Marshall, definitely check the link down below in the description. So again, huge shout out to Marshall for sending these out. But that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be the cool guy or girl that gives this video a thumbs up. And let me know what cool tech you've been messing around with lately. Maybe there's a cool piece of tech that I need to go ahead and take a look at. Let me know with a comment down below. But till the next one, guys, it's your average consumer. Peace.